Welcome to Grace and Glory Podcast, episode 41. David Pena with Sean Kincaid. How's it going, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Tired, bro. We've been training. So we've been training for a 100-mile race. That's right. We're running a 100-mile race in
December
2nd or 3rd. It's the first week of December.
Actually, it's December 2nd and 3rd because we're
Okay.
running for 24 hours or
More
possibly more, but we're
I'm
going
gonna
to try not to.
I want to say like 30 hours. Anyways, we've been running. We've been averaging about 45 to 50 miles a week. You slacked 1 week, but just saying. So
my numbers skewed the weeks.
yeah. So it's been tough. It's been amazing. You know, I'm feeling great. My confidence higher. A lot of people that know me think that I'm just more cocky, which they don't know what they're talking about. But you know, running helps. You know, if you're suffering, whatever you're suffering, depression, heartbreaks.
There's nothing more depressing than being 10 miles into your run and still having 10 miles left to go.
Yeah, for sure.
So like it puts things into perspective.
Yep, and it helps you. Like it gets your blood flowing and
Endorphins,
all that dopamine. You know,
all like the natural stoner drugs that are already in your brain.
yeah. So start doing. Go for a 2-mile run. Do something. Don't just sit there. They say that even if you're sitting in the right path, you might just get run over.
Well, you were saying about the confidence thing, like the running makes you more confident because you actually have a reason to be confident because you're doing something that you can be proud of. So like,
And it's humbling at the same time.
it is humbling, but you know, there's a whole thing about like the self-esteem movement and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, why do you have self-esteem if you haven't done anything? Why do you hold yourself in high regard? Like we try to instill in kids at a very early age, like have self-esteem, you know, think positive thoughts about yourself, whatever, you know, it's cool and all, but everybody gets a trophy and nobody really earns anything. And if you feel good about yourself and you shouldn't, that's worse than being confident. Like that's worse than being cocky.
Well, you know, I'm all for positive talk, you know,
Positive self-talk.
Yeah, positive self-talk. So I think you have to feel good. You have to be confident because nobody's going to be confident enough to sign up for a race like that. So you have to have a little bit of belief in yourself. But then once you're doing it, you're like, oh my God, it's humbling because you're in pain. I mean, my cough is killing me. But, you know,
but like backing it up, like is the thing.
Right.
Like if you just, you know, like because I mean, if you just feel good about yourself, but you're not doing anything, or you have no reason to feel good about yourself, that's temporary. It's not permanent. It's gonna wear off first and foremost. But secondly, it's not earned. Like,
well, it's like this guy said. I don't know who said it. He's like, motivation. He's like, if the person is an idiot, you just have a motivated idiot. That's pretty good, right?
that is pretty good.
So,
The technical term idiot is actually just means someone with an IQ of 0 to 25. And then I think like the technical term retarded is like someone who has the IQ of 25 to 50. And then there's like more terms.
there
but
you go.
I don't.
Hashtag fact check.
Yeah, I learned that the other day.
So important. I'm sure that information is gonna take you a lot of places.
Also, the average inflation rate since 1950 until 2018 has been about 3.51%. So every year, your dollar it loses, you know, 3 cents, 3.5 cents. So you're getting poorer. And if your stocks are getting 6% return on investment, you're really only getting 2.5%.
And if you're
Paying fees, yeah.
Sounds like you need to talk to David and Sean.
Sounds like you just need to give us some money because we're a better investment.
Yeah. We multiply it. Our compound interest multiplies higher than us. All right, man, let's get to what we're going.
So we are in Exodus chapter 26. It's about building the tabernacle. If you missed our last podcasts, that's cool. I don't hold that against you. But Exodus 26, here we go.
Hold on, I'm sorry. If you miss episode the previous episode, go check out episode 40.
Check out 38.
38.
38's a really good one.
37, 36, 34.
All right, bro. We're counting down to launch. All right. 26, verse 1. Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine woven linen in blue, purple, and scarlet thread with artistic designs of cherubim. You shall weave them. The length of each curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, and every one of the curtains shall have the same measurements. 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another, and the other 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another. And you shall make loops of blue yarn on the edge of the curtain on the selvage of one set, and likewise you shall do on the outer edge of the other curtain on the second set. 50 loops you shall make in the one curtain, and 50 loops you shall make in the curtain that is on the end of the second set, that the loops may be clasped to one another. And you shall make 50 clasps of gold, and couple the curtains together with the clasps, so that it may be one tabernacle. Verse 7, you shall also make curtains of goat's hair, not to be confused with, never mind, I'm not going to say it. To be a tent over the tabernacle, you shall make 11 curtains. The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, and the 11 curtains shall all have the same measurements. And you shall couple 5 curtains by themselves and 6 curtains by themselves, and you shall double over the 6th curtain at the forefront of the tent. You shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in one set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain of the second set. And you shall make 50 bronze clasps, put the clasps into the loops, and couple the tent together that it may be one. The remnant that remains of the curtain of the tent, the half curtain together. Oh, excuse me. I'm like, this is like so dry. You got to bear with me here. Verse 11, let me read that again. And you shall make 50 clasps, put the clasps in the loops, and couple the tent together, that it may be one. The remnant that remains of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the back of the tabernacle. And a cubit on one side and a cubit on the other side of what remains of the length of the curtains of tent, you shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on the side, on this side and on that side to cover it. You shall also make a covering of ram skins dyed red for the tent, and a covering of badger skins above that. Verse 15, and for the tabernacle you shall make the boards of acacia wood standing upright. 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the width of each board. 2 tenons shall be in each board for binding one to another. Thus you shall make for all the boards of the tabernacle, and you shall make the boards for the tabernacle 20 boards for the south side. You shall make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under each of the boards for its 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, the north side, there shall be 20 boards, and there are 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under each of their boards. For the far side of the tabernacle westward, you shall make 6 boards. So 20 on the north, 20 on the south, with 40 sockets of silver on each of those, or under each of those. So the far side of the temple westward, you shall make 6 boards. And you shall also make 2 boards for the back of the 2 corners of the tabernacle. They shall be coupled together at the bottom, and they shall be coupled together at the top by 1 ring. Thus it shall be for both of them. They shall be for the 2 corners, so that there shall be 8 boards with their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under each of the boards. Yep, keep up with that math. Verse 26, and you shall make bars of acacia wood. You know what's really cool about this? Other than, well, there's not very much that's cool about this. But something that is really cool about this is God's like giving Moses the plans. He's like giving him the drawings, right? Like, I can't visualize this at all, you know, unless like I can visualize it like one line at a time. But he's talking about like, once he started saying boards, you know, put 20 boards here and 20 boards there, I'm like, okay. You know, he's talking about ram skins and badger skins. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't know how to construct that. But you talk about boards. Oh, I know a thing or two about boards. I know a thing or two about 2x4s. So this is getting me hyped now. Now we're talking about boards, all right? I'm thinking circle saw, skill saw. I'm thinking jigsaw.
Yeah, but didn't have that all that.
Yeah, they you know, just karate chopped the boards in half.
If I was Moses, I would be like, I'm sorry, what are you saying? You say, I'm sorry, can we go back and...
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't this fluid. I'm sure Moses had to be like, hold on, your math's not right on this one, God. And God's like, Moses, just write it down, figure it out later.
You're a fool. Like, Moses, you're a fool. Just write what I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I can see like the tribe, right, of Israel just gathering together, like, let's build this tabernacle, and you get all the good old boys, all the
handyman.
Yeah, all the Nazi handymen. I said good old, all the country folk spitting out the tobacco with the teeth rotting out. They all climb in the wagon together and they go haul the acacia wood back and cut it. And the reason I use the word Nazis is because they are all Trump supporters, and because they're the carpenters, so they just.
Oh, I thought you were referring, dude. You're talking about the Jewish people, and you call them Nazis. That's very offensive.
Right, like Ben Shapiro, the Jewish Nazi. You know who Ben Shapiro is?
Yeah, I know who the loser is.
Yo, he's not a loser, bro. He speaks really fast. Verse 26, and you shall make bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the tabernacle, 5 bars for the boards on the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle for the far side westward. The middle bar shall pass through the midst of the boards from end to end. So the middle bar, I think that's like a beam. Like, that's how I perceive it. It's like a beam, if you like go to your garage, you can usually see like a beam hanging down. There's like a part where, well, it's a beam hanging down.
Oh, it's
you can't miss it.
Like the beam I have downstairs with where my punching bag is.
You have a punching bag?
You didn't know this, bro?
No. I don't think I've ever been to your basement.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where I keep cool stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so the middle bar, I think that's the beam, shall pass through the midst of the boards from end to end. You shall overlay the boards with gold, make their rings of gold as holders for the bars, and overlay the bars with gold. And you shall raise up a tabernacle according to its pattern which you were shown on the mountain. 31, you shall make a veil woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread and fine woven linen. So I had this highlighted, and I didn't know why until just now, because I'm a beast.
You're super holy. You write in your Bible. I think everyone who writes in their Bible or take notes during the sermon, they're so much holier than anybody else who doesn't.
Yeah, pretty much. You get to like a higher tier in heaven if you like take notes in your Bible. If you write in the margins, that's when you're like really correct.
Like super religious and holy.
And you got to make sure it's like scribbly so nobody else but you can read it.
Yes.
So like, when they go back later, they can't correct your theology because they don't even know what you wrote. Boom.
But
Boom.
So
yeah, and God knows.
Yeah.
Boom. Get some. All right, but 31, it says, you shall make a veil woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread and fine woven linen. So I was like, what? Why did I highlight that? And then I remembered when, somewhere in the Bible, when, Jesus died.
Between Matthew and Revelation.
Yeah, it's like, it's New Testament. It's like, get to the Old Testament, turn a page, it's somewhere in there. So when Jesus died, remember it said like the earth shook, it went dark, and then the veil was torn. Yeah. Right. So this was the veil, like when the priest would go. Why God's presence like dwelt behind the veil, and like you couldn't enter it except for like the high priest could enter it like once a year, and then they would tie like a rope to him.
So if they were not holy enough, they would die, and then they just pull them back in.
So like the high priest was writing in the margins of his scrolls, because he took notes during the sermons that he gave. Ooh, that's even holier.
That's good.
So verse 31, that's the veil. I highlighted it, whatever, and I highlighted it in pink. I don't know why. I guess that's the only highlighter I had at the time. David's going to make a comment about my sexuality, but I'm very comfortable in it. So 31, you shall make a veil woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread and fine woven linen. It shall be woven with an artistic design of cherubim. which is actually interesting because you have like the cherubim, right, which is some sort of angelic thingy, right? Remember, maybe not you, but when I was a kid, we used to call things thingies. It's like some sort of thingy. Like, that was like a thing. Yeah. That was a thingy back in the day.
I was racing the lions. I was growing up with the lions.
Yeah, I don't even know how to like translate that. Like,
I guess you can say like a
cosita.
Yeah,
cosita. A thingy. So like the cherubim are all woven into the design of the fabric of the veil. So God's presence dwells behind the veil, or, you know, as you pass into the whatever. It dwells past the veil. And then covering the veil is all these angels. So like, because you know how God's surrounded by a bunch of angels always singing to him. So the cherubim are on the veil. I just thought of a little representation. Verse 32, you shall hang it upon the 4 pillars of acacia wood overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be gold upon 4 sockets of silver. And you shall hang the veil from the clasp. Then you shall bring the ark of the testimony in there behind the veil. The veil shall be a divider for you between the holy place and the most holy. I highlighted that too. You shall put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy. So God dwells on the mercy seat.
So I have a quick question. Since Sean already...
Yeah, I read the whole Bible, so I could probably answer this very thoroughly. Shoot.
I was about to say that, bro.
No, it's okay. So I read it, so I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, thank you. See, He makes if you guys and girls, if you haven't read the Bible, you have to read it so you can become as wise as Sean.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. So the tabernacle in the Ark of the Lord.
Now I'm like, what if I can't answer this? Hold on, let me get my phone out. Google.
You're live. So is this is they don't do this until they get to the promised land, right? Or do they build this before? Because they're living in tents.
Build it before, and then they carry it around, I think.
So but that was the altar.
That was the Ark of the Covenant, yeah.
The Ark of the Lord. So, and I'm like the Ark, I have a picture of it. You know, it looks like you're carrying.
No, I'm pretty sure that they built it before, which.
Because there is one later on we learned that nobody can touch it unless they're holy. Like I think if you were to take notes in the Bible, you know, right within the margins, I think you will be able to touch it. But this time the ark was about to fall down, and somebody tried to save it and touch it, and it died right on the spot. But I don't think that was the tabernacle, because this sounds huge. They're talking about big stuff like a house.
So in chapter 37, they begin building the ark. And then, they started, so they built the altar in 38. They began to build the court of the tabernacle in 38. And then in 39, the work is completed. And then in 40, the tabernacle is erected and arranged. And then you get to Leviticus. So they built the tabernacle while they're in the wilderness.
So they carried it around.
Yeah.
But that sounds like super heavy, bro.
Yeah, so the way it was, as far as I remember it, because, you know, I read the whole Bible, is they had all the tribes, like, arranged. You know, I think it was, I think Judah led the charge. I think Judah was in the front. I can't be sure. You know, there's a lot of pages in this Bible that I read. So I'm being stupid. No, but they had the tribes arranged in a certain way, like several tribes in the front, several tribes in the back, and a couple tribes on the side. Like when they walked around the wilderness in like a certain formation, and then they carried literally the entire tabernacle in the middle of the camp.
Like a house.
Yeah, it was like bigger than a house. I mean, it was like a...
Right. It's like the house where you guys live.
Yeah, it was probably bigger than that.
So these people, that was an easier to... The enemy, all they have to know is like, oh, they're carrying the tabernacle, let's attack.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think it's like the whole nation of Israel. It's huge. And then God was just like tearing down everybody before them as they like God. So God would drive out the Canaanites before they got there. Hold on. And God would say, you got to as soon as I'm going to drive these people out, you got to like go in there like ASAP.
Kill everybody.
Yeah, well, you got to go in there ASAP because if you wait too long,
they're going to come back.
No, the wilderness like will take over. Like the beasts will like inhabit the land and outnumber you. So like you got to like, move in. They're moving out. It's like their closing date is like the 40 or the 25th. You got to move in like the 28th. Latest. At the latest.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
No, but so later on we learn when these nations stole the tabernacle, the ark of the Lord. Remember?
Yeah, the Philistines, I think.
Yeah, and they put it right next to the Baal, whatever. And that statue, Baal statue, kept falling, and then they started getting like bad stuff. The Philistines started getting weird stuff, and they're like, get this thing away from us because this is bringing us bad luck. And I said bad luck in quotation because I don't believe in luck. You create your own.
Just like you create your own time.
Exactly.
So, verse 35, you shall set the table outside the veil and the lampstand across from the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south, and you shall put the table on the north side. You shall make a screen for the door of the tabernacle, woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen made by a weaver. I had that highlighted. I don't know why.
Is this maybe the way you highlighted? I haven't read the Bible yet, but so maybe the reason you have this highlighted is it because that's when Aaron's kid came in and they were like super cocky or prideful, and then they got killed right on the spot. Remember that? I think we learned that later on.
Yeah.
Maybe that's...
Was it? It wasn't Aaron's kids.
Yeah, they grew up to be priests. I mean, I don't know.
It wasn't Aaron's kids. It was. There might have been another story. It was. It was in Samuel.
No, it wasn't Samuel. It was. They were still in the wilderness. I think it was because priests, Aaron's family are like the priests.
Right.
They went into the tabernacle, which I thought until now is like a huge house. I thought it was just a tent of meeting. That's what they call it. They call it a tent of meeting, and only holy people can go in there. So, and these guys were the priests, which the priests could go in there, and they walked in, and the Lord kills them because there was like a lot of pride on their heart or something. They just die on the spot right there.
Well, there's like other people too. Like this was the reason I think that Samuel became a priest was because there was this guy. His name started with an E. It was, I don't remember what his name was. And then his two sons would like go in and eat the offerings, and then they would like seduce the women. and the dad wouldn't do anything. The dad was the priest, and he wouldn't do anything about it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then that's when
Samuel had a dream.
Yeah, well, God kept calling to Samuel, and then Samuel kept thinking it was that guy. I can't remember his name. It starts with an E.
He would go to him. Do you call my name?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, no.
And he's like, and then after that happened 3 times, the guy was like, "I think the Lord's trying to talk to you." Yeah. And then right after that, God basically told Samuel, "Yo, tell that guy that's raising you, I'm about to strike his kids down because he's a bad priest because he's not handling his kids." And I can't remember what his freaking name
reminds me. Look it up. Well, I tell you,
I'm not a Google Christian. All right,
look it up.
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Which reminds me that this guy, his name is Jordan B. Peterson,
with a P.
With a P. That's what I said. Peterson. How else can you spell it?
Because you were like Peterson.
He says, before you correct someone, you have to have your house in order. So it goes back to that Samuel spot. When I guess that's in Kings, right?
No, dude, this was like in the book of Samuel.
Samuel has a book?
Yeah, dude, he has 2 books.
No, but I think
1st and 2nd Samuel.
But I think the story starts in Kings.
No, Kings comes after Samuel.
Or whatever is before Kings, before Samuel. So
no.
if you you read the whole Bible, so
That's true. I did.
So before, I mean, this guy, that means that if he's not controlling his own kids, his own house, how can he control everybody else?
Yeah, how can he lead the nation of Israel?
So you have to keep your house in order. So if you are, hypothetically, if you're getting divorced, if you, Sean, are married and getting divorced, how could you give me marriage advice?
Easy. I tell you what I did wrong.
Right. Yeah, but okay, yeah, you can do that. But I'm saying like positive. Like, okay, dude, come on.
Right. I wouldn't hold you to a standard that I myself wouldn't do.
Or this is another thing. This is good. It's gonna burn. Anybody who's leading Bible studies, how can they lead a Bible study if they are watching porn? And
easy. They just bury it under their emotions and forget about it and pretend like it doesn't happen and repent every single time you do it.
Bro, that's hypocrisy.
I agree.
So this is and this is another verse that has been coming up in my mind is, because I'm learning like you. I want to read the whole Bible. Jesus says, if you put your hand in the plow and look back, you're not worthy of the kingdom of God. Or
you say this to me every day. Like,
do I?
Like 3 times a day. It's about stupid stuff too. You'll be like, it'll be about something dumb. Like, I don't even know. I can't even think of an example.
I don't use that as a dumb examples. I don't. This is like when it's like serious stuff.
Right. You're talking about serious stuff now.
No, but when I bring that up, it's like serious stuff, and you know it. You're laughing because you know it. So that's them. Like, if these people are doing ministries and whatever they're doing, and if they're putting the hand on the plow, but they're looking back, and that's looking at the world like, oh, the world is telling them to sin, to miss the mark, and they keep doing it. Sure, you can go back to repent, but I think there's somewhere out there more fit to do what they're doing, and actually they probably are putting the hand on the plow and not looking back. They're looking the line straight, because, dude, I can imagine, you whatever thing, the bull or the horse that pulls it, or the donkey that pulls the plow, you have to be paying attention. Dude, you cannot, like what Jesus said is so true. You cannot put your hand on the plow and look back.
So how do you know this?
How do I know what?
About the plow and the looking back?
Bro, I know, because I don't think I ever plow, but I saw people plowing. And you have to pay really close attention, because the donkey or the bull, whatever is pulling it, you're the leader. You're supposed to guide it, and you have to draw the straight line. If you're looking back, you're not worthy of the kingdom of God. So, and I'm sure, so that person is like, I've been telling you, like, this week I told you to take down this podcast.
That is true.
That is true.
And then I didn't.
And you didn't. And I'm like, dude, let's take it. We failed. Like, we haven't done one in 2 weeks, and we went like 2 months without doing one. And I'm like, let's take him down. Like, we failed. So, and we're going to get some hate. But if we get some hate, show us your podcast. No, seriously. Like, if you're not doing something, don't hate on us.
Where's your podcast?
Where's your podcast? But
mine's on iTunes.
Google Play, Stitchers. So, but seriously, so if you put your hand on the plow and look back, sorry, bro.
Wait, so why are we gonna get hate?
Why do we need hate?
Yeah, no. Why were you saying we're gonna get hate?
No. When we get hate.
Yeah, why? Why would we get hate?
Because we're sharing prosperity gospel, bro.
Yeah. So quote for me, Joshua 1:8.
Keep the book of the law in your mouth. Meditate day and night. And I'm going to paraphrase this. Make sure you obey it, and you will be prosperous and successful.
Simone. All right. So verse 36, I had it highlighted. We'll just recap. You shall make a screen for the door of the tabernacle, woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen made by a weaver. And you shall make for the screen 5 pillars of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold. Their hooks shall be gold, and you shall cast 5 sockets of bronze for them. Chapter 27. Now we're getting plans for the altar of burnt offering. You shall make an altar of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The altar shall be square, and its height shall be 3 cubits. You shall make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns shall be of one piece with it. You shall overlay it with bronze. Also you shall make its pans to receive its ashes, and its shovels and its basins and its forks and its fire pans. You shall make all its utensils of bronze. You shall make a grate for it, a network of bronze, and on the network you shall make 4 bronze rings in its corners, or at its corners. You shall put it under the rim of the altar beneath, that the network may be midway up the altar. And you shall make poles for the altar, poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with bronze. The poles shall be put in the rings, and the poles shall be on the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. You shall make it hollow with boards, as it was shown you on the mountain, so they shall make it. I feel like God, because he just said it was shown you. I feel like God like literally handed Moses like the drawings.
Maybe in a huge picture, like in a vision, you know. He saw the whole thing, and he's like, okay. And the priest before Samuel was Eli. That's his name.
Eli.
Yeah.
I told you it started with an E. I was just two
letters
off. Verse 9. You also shall make the court of the tabernacle. For the south side there shall be hangings for the court made of fine woven linen, 100 cubits long for one side, and its 20 pillars and their 20 sockets shall be bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands shall be silver. Likewise, along the length of the north side there shall be hangings 100 cubits long, with its 20 pillars and the 20 sockets of bronze, and the hooks of the pillars and the bands of silver. And along the width of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, with their 10 pillars and their 10 sockets. The width of the court on the east side shall be 50 cubits. The hangings on one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. And on the other side shall be hangings of 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. For the gate of the court there shall be a screen 20 cubits long, woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen, made by a weaver. It shall have 4 pillars and 4 sockets. All the pillars around the court shall have bands of silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of bronze. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, its width 50 throughout, and the height of 5 cubits, made of fine woven linen, and its sockets of bronze. All the utensils of the tabernacle for all its service, all its pegs, and all the pegs of the court shall be bronze. And you shall command the children of Israel, and they bring you pure oil of pressed olives for the light, to cause the lamp to burn continually. In the tabernacle of meeting, outside the veil, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall tend it from evening until morning before the Lord. It shall be a statute forever to their generations on behalf of the children of Israel. Now we are talking about the garments of the priesthood.
I think that's good, bro. Let's. Oh, my bad.
So chapter 28. Now take Aaron your brother and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that he may minister to me as priest.
Boom.
Aaron and Aaron's sons, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar.
I wasn't that off, bro. I was saying, it says Aaron, his son, and serve me as priest.
Yeah. Well,
FYI, yeah, just so you know that I know a little bit too. Listeners, I know a little bit.
You need to talk a little more into the mic, because
okay.
You're like 6 feet back. But just want to note here that God's saying to Moses, he wants Aaron and his sons to minister to me. Like God's saying, I want them to minister to me. And we usually think of ministry, first of all, as a really simple job. But secondly, oh man, we usually think of ministry as, they're ministering to us, right? As the congregation. Like I go to church to be ministered to. That's not usually why I go to church, actually. But we, when we go to church, we get ministered to. Like, God's actually saying, I want the priest to minister to me. Like, as in God wants the priest to minister to him. And I don't really know what that means, but that's what the Bible says. So,
That's what God says.
Yeah. So it would kind of make you wonder, like, ministry doesn't probably even mean like teaching. Yeah. Well, teaching means teaching.
I think it says later on.
Like, ministry, I think, is just communing with God. Like, it's just like the act of
hanging out with God.
Yeah, like being in the presence of God.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. I don't know the definition, but that's gonna be my definition. If you want to know the
definition, go listen to a different podcast. scholar. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seminary school.
Yeah, go ask somebody that went to seminary, because I'm sure.
As David Platt.
Never mind. Yeah. So verse 2, and you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for glory and for beauty. So that sounds like getting attention. You ever notice, like, pastors nowadays, like, wear like the skinny jeans and everything? Like, they're looking for that glory and that beauty. I mean, pastors look good. I mean, they like really well kept and kempt and well groomed. Their wives dress them well and whatever. I mean, it's like, real like pretty boys. I like it. I like pretty men. I mean, pretty men of God, pretty ministers. Verse 3. So you shall speak.
You heard it here first, folks. Sean likes pastors.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you want to know something about fashion, like,
just go to church and look at you.
Yeah, just like whatever, like, it's a mix between whatever the worship leader and the pastor's wearing. Like, that's, like, if you land in between that somewhere,
good.
You are going to find a woman. Like, let me tell you. All right. I mean, I don't look anything like either of those, which is probably why,
you're single.
I'm single, but
whatever gets you at church, doesn't matter, right? Whatever get you in the building, you're good.
And sometimes it's females. But verse 3, so you shall speak to all who are gifted artisans, right? Sounds like Panera Bread, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister to me as priest. There you have it again. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, an ephod, a robe, a skillfully woven tunic, a turban, and a sash. I like how God's saying, I want this to be built skillfully. Like, I don't want you to just come up here and slap some stuff on.
I don't want David doing anything. If I was me, like, talking to myself, be like, I'm not very skillful. God bless me with some other things, but not skillful.
So, yeah. And notice that Aaron's wearing a turban. So, I think, we should start wearing turbans. So they shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother and his sons, that he may minister to me as priests. There you have it 3 times, folks.
My translation says to serve me.
So maybe that's ministry, is to serve God.
Right, yeah.
So, and I guess if you're supposed to serve God, you're supposed to serve other people too. Okay. But not money. You're not supposed to serve money. Money's supposed to serve you. Verse 5.
Make money your
soldier.
I mean, you're a soldier.
Yeah, be master over your money. Yeah. Verse 5, they shall take the gold. They shall take the gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and the fine linen, and they shall make the ephod of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen, artistically worked. It shall have 2 shoulder straps joined at its 2 edges, and so it shall be joined together. And the intricately woven band of the ephod, which is on it, shall be of the same workmanship, made of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen. Then you shall take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel, 6 of the names on one stone, 6 of the names on the other stone, in the order of their birth. With the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet, you shall engrave the 2 stones with the names of the sons of Israel. You shall set them in settings of gold, and you shall put the 2 stones on the shoulders of the ephod as a memorial of the stones for the sons of Israel. So Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord on his 2 shoulders as a memorial. You shall also make settings of gold, and you shall make 2 chains of pure gold like braided cords, and fasten the braided chains to the settings. Whew, this is like a mouthful. And we have what's 40 minus 15? Quick math.
35.
25. So we have 25 more verses of this. So you got to hang on to your seats because it's about to be relatively unexciting. Okay, uneventful. It's like the lazy river, right? You just do nothing. You just need to listen. Open your heart. God's going to teach you some stuff about some ephods and some skillfully woven whatever. Ready? Verse 15. You shall make the breastplate of judgment. Boom. I'm kind of judgmental. Artistically woven according to the workmanship of the ephod, you shall make it. Of gold, of blue, of purple, scarlet thread. In 5 woven linen you shall make it. It shall be doubled into a square. A span shall be its length, and a span shall be its width. I'm going to start like reading this dramatically. Okay? We're going to try this.
You can just read really fast.
No, I'm not Ben Shapiro. Like, I get tripped up over these words because I don't ever use the word sardius or a topaz or emerald. Or I don't repeat myself, and you shall make it as you shall make it. You shall make it like this, and you shall make it. All right, but I'm going to read this a little more dramatically. Okay, verse 17. And you shall put settings of stones in it, 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, and an emerald. This shall be the first row. The second row shall be a turquoise, a sapphire, and a diamond. The third row, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be set in gold settings, and the stones shall have the names of the sons of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, each one with its own name. They shall be according to the 12 tribes, not 11 tribes, but 12. Verse 22, you shall make the chains for the breastplate at the end, like braided cords of pure gold. You shall make 2 rings of gold for the breastplate, and you shall put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate, and then you shall put the 2 braided chains of gold and the 2 rings which are on the ends of the breastplate, the other 2 ends of the 2 braided chains.
Bro, just read it normal.
You shall fasten to the 2 settings. Bro, I can't put my hand to the plow and look back. I got to keep going. And put them on the shoulder straps of the ephod in the front. You shall make the 2 rings of gold and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate on the edge of it, which is on the inner side of the ephod. And 2 rings of gold you shall make and put them on the 2 shoulder straps underneath the ephod toward its front, right at the seam above the intricately woven band of an ephod. They shall bind the breastplate by means of its rings to the rings of the ephod, using a blue cord so that it is above the intricately woven band of the ephod, and so that the breastplate does not come loose from the ephod. Because you'd hate that. So Aaron shall bear the names of the sons of Israel on the breastplate of judgment over his heart, when he goes into the holy place as a memorial before the Lord continually. And you shall put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim. I don't know what those are. And they shall be over Aaron's heart when he goes in before the Lord. So Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel over his heart before the Lord continually. Verse 31. You shall make the robe of the ephod of all blue. There shall be an opening for his head in the middle of it, and it shall have a woven binding around its opening, like the opening in a coat of mail, so that it does not tear. And upon its hem you shall make pomegranates of blue, of purple, and scarlet all around its hem, and bells of gold between them all around. A golden bell and a pomegranate. A golden bell and a pomegranate. Why does it repeat that? upon the helm of the robe all around. And it shall be upon Aaron when he ministers, and its sound will be heard when he goes into the holy place before the Lord, and when he comes out, that he may not die. You shall also make a plate of pure gold and engrave on it like the engraving of a signet. All caps right here. Holiness to the Lord. That was my all caps voice. By the way, I think the Caps won the Stanley Cup. But I don't care because I'm not Canadian.
And you shall fasten in the turban by a cord of blue. It shall be on the front of the turban. It shall be on Aaron's forehead, and Aaron shall bear any guilt from the holy things that the people of Israel consecrate as their holy gift. It shall regularly be on his forehead, that they may be accepted before the Lord.
So Aaron's going to bear the breastplate of judgment. And on his forehead, he's going to bear the iniquity. So he's going to bear the judgment of Israel, right? Because he's got all the sons of Israel on the breastplate, like 6 on one side, 6 on the other. Like it's on 2 different stones. It's on this breastplate, whatever. But that was the breastplate of judgment because he's bearing the judgment of Israel. He's like the judge, fist, iron fist judge, like Stalin, right? Judge. And then he's also bearing the iniquity. So like it's like the dichotomy right there of like Jesus, right? Because Jesus is coming back as the judge, but he also bore the iniquity of our sins when he was at the cross, right? You want to keep reading, or do you want me to?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be theatrical again.
No, I'll read it.
You don't want me to be theatrical?
No, I don't.
All right, just talking to the mic.
You shall weave the coat in checker work of fine linen, and you shall make a turban of fine linen, and you shall make a sash embroidered with needlework. I'm almost done, people, so it's just a couple more verses you're gonna hear.
Yeah, hang tight. He's working on it.
For Aaron's son you shall make coats and sashes and caps. You shall make them for glory and beauty, and you shall put them on Aaron your brother and on his son with him, and shall anoint them and ordain them and consecrate them, that they may serve me as priests. You shall make for them linen undergarments to cover the naked flesh. They shall reach from the hips to the thighs, and they shall be on Aaron and on his son when they go into the tent of meeting. Boom, what I was talking earlier.
Tabernacle of meeting.
Or when they come near the altar to minister in the holy place, lest they bear guilt and die. What was I saying earlier? This shall be a statute forever for him and for his offspring after him.
But you were saying some of Aaron's sons were killed.
Right. We're going to see that later on.
I don't remember.
Because we just learned that they are going to serve as priests.
Well, yeah, they're serving as priests, but I don't know that any of Aaron's sons die going into the temple.
We shall see. Stay tuned, people.
Yeah, stay tuned. All right. If you want to give us some love, then go to our Instagrams. All right. My Instagram is my username is Sean. David's is at DavidPinion207. Like we said earlier, or David said earlier, but I'm going to confirm. We're running a 100-mile race. And what we're doing is we're trying to raise $10,000 for some wounded veterans. And we have found a couple different charities that we are thinking about donating to, but haven't completely decided on one. We're still waiting to hear back from this guy at our church to see what kind of help we can get, just moving in that direction. But ultimately, we're going to take initiative because we don't wait on other people.
Right. We create our own time.
Right. So if you want to support that, just be on the lookout. We're going to obviously talk about it a lot because we can't help ourselves.
We have a purpose. No, we have a why. We're going to be talking about it because, we need something to talk about, and that's super exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting. It may not sound exciting because we record this, at like 5 or 6 in the morning. Dude, it's almost 7 a.m. Yeah,
we wasted an hour talking, chambreando,
and also my computer was updating. But yeah, so keep posted. We'll tell you more about that. We can, also be supported if you would go to audibletrial.com/ right? Like you're cutting with a knife. So audibletrial.com/ Grace and Glory. Because if you sign up with Audible, and you should be listening to books,
should.
because you're gonna be less stupid after you listen to more books, right?
12 Rules of Life.
Yeah, so Jordan B. Peterson wrote a book called 12 Rules for Life, and Sean R. Kincaid is asking you to listen to it at www.audibletrial.com/grace and glory, because if you sign up there and listen to Jordan B. Peterson's book, you can help Sean R. Kincaid and David A. Pena get some more love and support, because this podcast costs us money.
And you get a free trial. You get a 30-day free trial, and you get a free download of any book, which you can get the 12 Rules of Life. Or, I was reading this book, and I was talking to you yesterday. I read it like twice. This is the third time. It's called, I was actually listening this time, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. Chapter 11, I'm gonna go in there. Sexual transmutation.
That sounds so gay. Tell me more.
Yeah, thanks for asking. So it says that a lot of people are not very successful. And did you just stop the podcast?
No.
I saw you touch it.
Yeah, no.
That would have been
I
funny.
didn't stop the podcast. We're still on.
So a lot of people are not successful before age 40. The reason is because we spend countless years chasing
Booty.
chasing sex. So we want to have sex. So instead of we focusing on success or something else, we're focusing on sex. And that's what we live in an era that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to have sex, So, but if you can just channel those, because the number one motivation is sex. That's one of the number one motivations when they.
It's like your most like beastly desire.
Right. So if you take that out of a man or out of a beast, I mean, just imagine if you have a bull, and you take the side of sex out, you just have a cow.
You have a heifer. You don't have a bull. You have a heifer. Yeah. Heifer is a female cow.
Okay, yeah, you have a heifer. So, but if you learn to channel that desire of you trying to have desire, and if somebody says, "Oh my God, I'm Christian, I don't do that," it's like, okay, keep fooling yourself. So, but if you can learn to channel that and to channel it to whatever you want, you can become you could become a genius. Like, so if there's,
and that's one of the things we were talking about, like just since day one with the podcast, is like, don't be a loser, don't jerk off, don't play video games, because when you do that, you're wasting all that mojo
and
black magic.
Well, I'm still struggling trying to channel it, because I think it will be free. Oh my God, just imagine, like we're running 100 miles and we still we networking, doing a lot of stuff at the same time. But if we could channel that area of our life to something more productive, we could become beasts. So, with that being said, if there is someone out there listening and they had already channeled the side of sex to something else, DM me at David Pena 207. My last name is spelled Pena, and it's not gonna be weird. I promise, it's not gonna be weird.
This is just, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. So it's good. Stop. I just, the way I see that is just like, don't do the dude, don't do the deed, don't do the dirty. Store up your black magic, and then use it to propagate your business desires, because ultimately, if you're gonna like have sex or jerk off, it's gonna be over. But if you make a bunch of money, it's gonna last you a little longer. So,
and something I'd like to say is money. And this is so wrong, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Unless you're an idiot, which I hope you're not, because you're listening to a podcast that
0 to 25 IQ points.
That makes you a smarter person. Oh, this is a Christian podcast. Oh my God. Money's not going to wake up one day and says, I don't love you anymore.
That's true.
Just saying.
So, and for that, we close out the podcast.
Have an amazing day. Hey, give us 5-star reviews. Share with your friends. Tell them episode 41 is out. Share with them because they might need it, you know. So spread the good news. Spread the gospel. And give us 5-star reviews. And if you don't like it, DM us.